Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Stevie Breech coming to you. As you can remember, last week I put up a video of my memories from last year's Wrestlemania, the stories behind the videos that didn't get told through them. And basically, after I made that video, almost the second that I told it to post, I knew that I left some stories out. And I wanted to make sure that if Ravi or Luke made a video on the same topics, they had stuff to talk about. So I waited till now to tell the long lost stories from last year's Wrestlemania. As you can remember from the last one and from the videos, we had little pre YWC cookout last year. The day we all flew in, we all met up at the Vortex for some giant, huge hamburgers. Met up with some YouTubers that that I didn't really have the biggest uh, history of watching, but I'd started watching mostly for the fact that we were gonna meet these guys, and they extended their hands to say, "Hey, we want to hang out." So I didn't want to go up to them and be fake and be like, "Yeah, I don't know who you are," or act like I knew who they were. I wanted to be able to have a conversation with them about something that they liked. So I started watching their videos, and I had a small little base of it. So I met up with like Instant Classic 8 and LB 54, and that was real cool. From going and meeting with him there, the next night when we met up with him in the ROH show, we were waiting in line with them, chit chatting. It's just nice, when you show up to a show early to, stand in line and talk to somebody that you know. And we had a pretty big group, and it was pretty cool. And I just remember standing there next to LV. And LV is chit chatting with everybody who's gonna listen to him, and he's talking up women's wrestling. And to me, women's wrestling is just divas on Raw. I mean, that's my background. That's all I know. And he's talking about all women's promotions and all women's pay-per-views, and he's naming off girls I've never heard of. I'm like, if you were to ask me, I'm probably gonna say, the best Monday night or the best women's match I've ever gonna seen is that Monday Night Raw match from Lita and Trish Stratus. I'm probably gonna say Trish Stratus is probably the best women's wrestler in the world. I don't know shit, about women's wrestling. It just doesn't matter. But I just remember him talking with such passion about these girls that he's basically doing anything to get anybody to watch these pay-per-views. He's basically handing out DVDs to anybody who's gonna take him, I guess, pretty much, of these women's wrestlers. And he's just putting them over like, you gotta check this out, you gotta check this out. That I remember that when we went to the ROH show, when we finally got inside, there was this chicks tag team match that I probably wouldn't have paid any attention to, but because I talked to LB and seen how much passion he put into this, how much he loved this stuff, that he put this over like this was pretty much the main event. I couldn't believe it, but that was like the one thing that blew his mind, that these girls are, I think they're from Japan or something like that, were there. And I was just like, normally I'd just be like, fuck it, who cares? But I remember actually watching this match and getting into it. When I sat at the ROH show, I didn't get to sit with my other three buddies. I had to sit by myself, so I didn't know who the heck any of these people were. But I was watching this for LB, who was sitting back there, and I honestly got into it. And I thought that it was a damn good match, and I probably wouldn't have paid attention to that for the world if it wasn't for that. And that's one thing that's always stuck with me about going to those shows. And whenever I watch all these videos, that's what always pops into my mind, that I actually paid attention to that women's wrestling match. I got into it that night and the one the next night, mostly because of him. After that show, it was pretty cool. I didn't talk about this. We went into the parking lot and we waited for the wrestlers to come out, try to get scratch a few autographs, act like we were 10 years old again, and that was honestly really really fun. And at one point, the Briscoes came out. And the Briscoes came out there, and they were really just tossing their gear in the truck, but they sat there and had a conversation with us for at least 15 minutes, talked to everybody, signed autographs, made sure everybody got a little cameo on their Wrestlemania videos. And they even helped back out the truck, which was pretty funny, into traffic. One of them went out there and just stood there in traffic so everybody would stop. And it was just really cool how those two guys would just come out and just hang out and chat like they're normal dudes. I mean, that's honestly just really what they seem like. And I mean, that's meeting those guys who I didn't know who they were 10 minutes before that. When they were in the ring, and getting to see them work. I mean, that was better than meeting anybody at Access for 10 seconds, or Wrestle Reunion, or anything else like that. That was probably the coolest, one-on-one autograph meet and greet thing that I ever, experienced. I thought that was really cool of them to really hang out with us. And I also got to meet the Kings of Wrestling, both of them. I ran on down the thing on them like I was a 10-year-old Mark, and everybody, was pretty scared because they were the heel team, but they were really nice, and that was really cool for the ROH guys to do that. The one moment that when I think back, that I'm honestly probably the most embarrassed about or feel bad about was, remember the story when we dropped Paz off at the meet and greet for ROH. We dropped them off like 4 hours early because he wanted to go to the ROH meet and greet show. And we had tickets for access, and he just said access wasn't his thing. Well, we were supposed to come back and meet Paz at that thing, but we were driving from one thing to the other, and we saw this oh shoot, Crystals, little small square burgers. And I just, said we can eat here, and we can eat here fast, and it's cheap. And everybody marked out. So we went in there and we were eating that. And Paz was calling us on the phone every, 5-10 minutes. We were in there. Yo, where you at, man? That's my best Paz impression. Just think of Kermit the Frog, and that's the Paz voice. Um, we're like, yeah, man, we're in traffic. I don't know why we're dicks, or I was the dick. Nobody was on the phone with me, and I'm telling them we're trying to get there, and we weren't even moving. We were just eating, and I don't even think we brought him anything, which is pretty much a dick move. Sorry, Paz. I'll send you crystals next time I think of you. But that's probably the one thing that I was the most felt the bad about when I actually thought about what we were doing. And then the ride home Monday, really kicked the shit out of us. We probably all would have left there Monday if we had to, but we stayed and we went to Raw, and then we got through that day, and then we flew home. Luke and I were on the same flight. We flew out of Birmingham, Alabama, and we flew all the way to somewhere. I don't remember where it was, where a connection was. And we were all, piling on the plane. Southwest loads weird. So I sat in one row, and Luke sat probably about 10 rows behind me to the back. And when they were trying to, get everybody seated and ready to, get back and go, there was this one chick who was in my row, not on my side, on the left-hand side. I was in the middle seat on that one, and she was in the middle seat on their side. She wouldn't get off her phone, and the stewardess, was asking her. She was being nice, and she was trying to get her off the phone, and I don't know, one thing led to another, and the chick was getting pissed that she couldn't talk on her phone, but everybody knows they want everybody off the phone when they actually close the door. So that way they know everybody's there, everybody's settled, this, that, and the other. And she's on her phone complaining about how her dad paid for this ticket and she should be able to do whatever she wants to. And I'm sitting over in my seat just thinking to myself, because she's being pretty loud. I'm like, I paid for my own ticket and I want to get home and see my kids. I'm sick of being away. I want to get there. Get off your damn phone. And then she says, "Excuse me, ma'am, it is time for you to get off your phone." And this chick flips out that she called her ma'am, and she starts yelling at the stewardess, just and I don't know, stupid move on the shortest part. She goes, "Well, would you rather me call you sister?" And I swear to you, the whole plane, oh, and it was like the Jenny Jones show, or Maury all over again. It was like you pretty much knew the battle royal was going to start from there. The lady actually stood up, and her and the stewardess were going nose to nose, like there was going to be Rock and Cena at WrestleMania. And one thing next to another, the pilot actually came from the cockpit, came out, and actually physically walked this girl off the plane. As soon as she got out of eyes view, the whole plane popped. Ah! They were going bananas. It was pretty damn loud. It was about 10 to 15 minutes, and it looked like we were leaving. Everybody thought she was gone, and I guess they finally got that girl quieted down, and they walked her back to her seat to sit down, doing the walk of shame. But everybody was looking at her, knowing that she heard us mark out for her getting kicked off the plane. It was pretty damn funny for us, but I'm sure she was pretty mad at us. I think she knew everybody on that plane was against her. All we wanted to do was get home. I remember just looking at Luke, and we were snickering. I was trying to film it with my flip cam, but I couldn't get the right angle on it, and I got caught. And then they told me to put it away. But I don't know. That was the long lost Mania moments. Hopefully that fills you in on some more funny moments for the trips of Mania, and want you to go next year. Back them on up for New Jersey, and everybody's gonna be there.